Thank you very much, Mr. Varakan. Thank you very much, Neetu and Ananya, for getting us from details for the big story. We're now going to go across to the Prime Minister, who's speaking at the Viksit Bharat Sankalp.
जनौषधि परियोजना भारतीय जनौषधि परियोजना के अंतर्गत आएगा।
रुचि जी, पहले तो आपको बहुत बहुत बधाई कि आपने आज देश के 10,000वें जन औषधि केंद्र की शुरुआत आपके साथ हो रही है, और ये भी बाबा धाम में हुआ है। ये बताइए कि जन औषधि केंद्र खोलने का विचार आपको आया कैसे?
हम लोग देखते हैं आए दिन जब भी हम जनता को दवाई डिस्पेंस करते हैं, जैसे मैं पहले भी असिस्टेंट फार्मासिस्ट की तरह काम कर चुकी हूँ, तो हमारे यहाँ मध्यम वर्ग के लोग और गरीबी रेखा के लोग बहुत ज्यादा है, जिन्हें बहुत से ऐसे लोग हैं जो सही उपचार के अभाव के कारण अछूते रह जाते हैं, क्योंकि उनको इलाज तो मिल पाता है सरकारी अस्पतालों में, बट वो महंगी दवाइयों को खरीद नहीं पाते हैं, जिसकी वजह से ही जन औषधि परियोजना से जब वो जुड़ते हैं तो जहाँ जो दवाई मार्केट में 100 रुपए में मिलती है, वो दवाई हमारे यहाँ 10 रुपए में 50 रुपए में मिल जाती है। तो इससे उन्हें बहुत ज्यादा लाभ मिलता है, और उन जो गरीब वर्ग के लोग दवाइयों के अभाव के कारण अपना इलाज नहीं करवा पा रहे थे, वो अब करवा पा रहे हैं।
अच्छा, देवगढ़ और देवगढ़ के आसपास के लोगों को पता है कि रुचि दीदी आपकी इतनी बड़ी सेवा कर रही है और मोदी जी के जो सपना है उसको पूरा करने का काम रुचि जी कर रही है, सस्ते में दवाइयां, लोगों को पता है क्या?
जी मोदी जी, जैसे कि ये तो आपकी परियोजना है ही, साथ साथ डिजिटल इंडिया भी आपकी एक परियोजना है, जिसके द्वारा मैं हमेशा जुड़ी रहती हूँ, और सोशल मीडिया के थ्रू हैशटैग्स का यूज करके जन औषधि परियोजना को जितना बढ़ावा दे सकूं उतना बढ़ावा देती हूँ, और साथ साथ आए दिन जितनी भी जनता से मैं जुड़ सकती हूँ उनको जरूर से जरूर बताने की कोशिश करती हूँ कि हमारे यहाँ 90% तक की छूट की दवाइयां मिलती हैं।
अच्छा, आपके यहाँ वहां जिसने कभी आपकी दवाई का, आपके जन औषधि केंद्र का लाभ लिया है, ऐसे कोई है वहां जिनसे मैं बात कर सकता हूँ?
जी सर।
नमस्कार सर।
नमस्कार, क्या शुभ नाम है?
मेरा नाम सोना चांद मिश्रा जी है।
हाँ मिश्रा जी, बताइए।
मैं बाबा धाम देवघर मंदिर के पास रहता हूँ। मैं जन औषधि का 2 साल से यहाँ शॉप खुला है, तब से ही मैं जन औषधि का दवाई यूज कर रहा हूँ सर।
पहले कितना खर्चा होता था, अभी कितना खर्चा होता है?
अब पहले सर 12-13 हजार रुपया खर्च हो जाता था महीने में, अब जो है तो 3,000 से 3,500 के अंदर हमारी सारी दवाइयां मिल जाती हैं।
आपका पैसा बचत हुआ है, तो क्या ये बात आपने और लोगों को भी बताई क्या कि इससे कितना लाभ होता है और आपको दवाइयां अच्छी मिली, बीमारी में भी सुविधा हुई? तो ये सेवा का काम औरों से किया क्या आपने?
जितने भी हमारे सगा संबंधी हैं, जितने भी मित्र कुटुंब हैं, जितने भी और हमसे जुड़े हुए आदमी हैं, सबों को हमने इस बात की जानकारी दी है, और साथ में भी ले जाकर के दवाई खरीदवाया है।
आप करते क्या है सोना जी?
मैं एक पकोड़े का दुकान चलाता हूँ सर।
अच्छा, आपका दुकान, आपके दुकान पर आप बोर्ड लगा सकते हैं कि भाई मेरा ये अनुभव रहा है, आपसे भी मेरी प्रार्थना है कि आप जन औषधि केंद्र में दवाई लीजिए, ऐसा बोर्ड लगा सकते हैं आप?
एकदम लगा सकते हैं सर।
और आप लोगों को पकोड़े खिलाते हो?
जी जी।
तो लोग पकोड़े खा करके बीमार होते हैं कि तबीयत ठीक होती है?
नहीं सर, मैं उत्तम क्वालिटी का पकोड़ा बनाता हूँ।
चलिए रुचि जी, आपको एक बार बहुत बहुत बधाई। आपने जन औषधि केंद्र के अभियान को मिलकर यानी एक प्रकार से बहुत आगे बढ़ाया है, और लोग स्थानीय रूप से भी थोड़ी जागरूकता दिखा रहे हैं, अच्छी बात है। देखिए, जितना लोगों को खबर पहुंचेगी, अच्छी दवाई और सस्ती दवाई, ये बहुत बड़ी सेवा है। तो आप एक काम सेवा का तो है ही है, लेकिन लोगों तक पहुंचाना ये भी बड़ी सेवा है। तो ये जितने लोग मुझे सुन रहे हैं ना, उनसे मेरा आग्रह है कि आप जन औषधि के केंद्रों के विषय में लोगों को बताइए। अब जैसे सोना जी बता रहे थे, 12-13 हजार रुपया खर्च होता था, अब 2-3 हजार में हो रहा है। मतलब उनके जेब में 10 हजार रुपया बचा है। कितने ही पकोड़े बेचते, 10 हजार नहीं बचता, लेकिन मोदी जी ने दवाई सस्ती करके 10 हजार बचा दिया। तो ये बात लोगों को बताइए आप। चलिए आगे कौन है?
सर, अब उड़ीसा से रायगढ़ से पूर्णाचंद बेनिया जी जुड़े हुए हैं।
पूर्णाचंद्र जी नमस्ते।
भारतीय प्रधानमंत्री, माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी को मेरा
पूर्णा
प्रणाम।
जी जय जगन्नाथ।
जय जगन्नाथ।
हाँ बताइए, आप काम क्या करते हैं?
मैं पूर्णचंद्र बेनिया, मैं खेत में किसान काम करते हैं।
और परिवार में कौन कौन है?
परिवार में मेरा बीवी है, मेरा माँ है और मेरा 3 बच्चों है।
अच्छा, किन किन सरकारी योजनाओं का आपको लाभ मिला है?
सरकार जो पहले उजाला, पीएम उजाला और पीएम किसान और पीएम गरीब कल्याण अन्न योजना में लाभ उठाते हैं।
तो क्या कभी सोचा था कि सरकार इस तरह की सुविधाएं देने के लिए आपके घर तक आएगी? ऐसा कभी सोचा था?
हाँ जी।
नहीं सोचा था?
नहीं जी।
तो आपको सरकार पे भरोसा था?
हाँ जी।
अच्छा पूर्णा जी, ये बताइए कि जब आपको इन योजनाओं का लाभ मिला था, तो अब आपके जीवन में क्या बदलाव आया, क्या परिवर्तन आया?
परिवर्तन तो आया जी। पहले उजाला, पहले जो हम आग से रसोई करते थे, वो हमको बहुत कष्ट होता था। जंगल जाकर लकड़ी ढूंढना चाहिए और घर लाकर वो लकड़ी को आग जलाने से बहुत परेशान आता था। अभी उजाला योजना में आया, गैस सिलेंडर फ्री मिला, एक चूल्हा फ्री मिला, इसलिए हमको अच्छा होगा और आसान से थोड़ा जल्दी से काम हो रहा है।
तो ये आप तो कोई खाना पकाते नहीं हो, खाना पकाते तो आपकी माता जी होगी या आपकी पत्नी होगी, आपकी बहन होगी, उनका क्या अनुभव है?
उसका जो आग में जो धुआं निकलते हैं ना, उसका तबीयत को थोड़ा बाधा होता था, इसलिए अभी
तो घर के लोग आपको बधाई देते हैं कि आपने अच्छा काम किया, ऐसा बोलते हैं?
नहीं, ये अच्छा नहीं। अभी जो उजाला के तो अच्छा होती है।
हाँ, तो मैं जो बोल रहा हूं आपको समझ आता है?
हाँ जी।
तो मैं पूछता एक हूं, अब जवाब दूसरा दे रहे हैं।
क्या जी?
आपके परिवार के लोग
अच्छा हो रहा है जी।
खुश हुए क्या?
हाँ जी।
अच्छा देखिए, आपका जीवन आसान हो गया। अब पत्नी को, माँ को, बहन को रसोई घर में थोड़ा समय बच रहा है। तो आप अपने बच्चों के विषय में भविष्य में सोचते हैं क्या? बच्चों को क्या बनाना चाहते हैं?
बच्चों को मैं आगे एक अच्छा डॉक्टर बनाना चाहता हूँ, अच्छा इंसान बनाने, अच्छा इंजीनियर बनाना चाहता हूँ।
तो ये जो आई है ना यात्रा आपके गांव में, जो लोग आए ना, उनसे पूछिए कि इसके लिए मुझे क्या क्या करना है।
जी।
आपके बच्चों के भी जो अफसर आए ना, उनसे बात करा दीजिए, तो आपको पता चलेगा कि ये विकसित भारत की यात्रा आई है, वो किस प्रकार से काम कर रही है। और पूर्णा जी, आपको मालूम है, विकसित भारत संकल्प यात्रा यानी मोदी की गारंटी वाली गाड़ी अब वो आपके गांव में आ चुकी है। अब देश को विकसित बनाने के लिए आप भी कोई संकल्प लीजिए। लेंगे?
हाँ जी, लेंगे।
गांव वाले भी लेंगे?
हाँ जी, लेंगे।
आपके सभी युवा मित्र को भी बताएंगे?
हाँ जी।
चलिए पूर्णा जी, आपसे बात करके अच्छा लगा, धन्यवाद।
सर अब प्रकाशम जिले के पखाला गांव चलते हैं, जहां से श्रीमती कोमलापट्टी वेंकटा रमनम्मा हुई है।
नमस्ते जी।
नमस्ते सर।
हाँ अम्मा बताइए।
आपसे मिलकर मैं तो बहुत खुश हुई है।
आप क्या करती हैं, अपने बारे में बताइए। आपको सरकारी योजनाओं का क्या लाभ मिला है?
मुझे ఉన్నాయి మీకు ప్రకాశ యోజన ద్వారా పిఎం యోజన సౌర్ యోజన ఉన్నాయి, చాలా ఉపయోగాలు పడ్డాయి। ఉజాల యోజన కూడా చాలా ఉపయోగపడ్డది।
आप करती क्या है?
नमस्कार प्रधानमंत्री जी।
जी।
आज आपसे बात करने का ये जो सौभाग्य मुझे मिला है, इसके लिए बहुत बड़ा आभारी हूँ और आप अनेक अनेक अभिनंदन और धन्यवाद करती हूँ। तो इस गांव में हमको बहुत अनेक आपका जो स्कीम्स मिल रहा है सर, उसमें से हमारा मेजर जो करते हैं वो ग्रुप का है।
अच्छा, आप सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप है क्या आपके गांव में?
यस सर है।
तो आप सेल्फ हेल्प से जुड़ी हैं?
जुड़ी हूँ सर।
तो कब से जुड़ी है आप? और आपको ये ड्रोन का सीखने को मिला है क्या? तो उसका क्या अनुभव है?
मिला मुझे बहुत अनुभव हुआ है और एग्रीकल्चर डिपार्टमेंट और कोरमंडल कंपनी वालों से आसक्ति मिली है सीखने की नई टेक्निक करके। मैं वहाँ पे गुंटूर जाके आचार्य यूनिवर्सिटी में सीखी हूँ। वो 20 डेज का ट्रेनिंग दिया गया है।
कितने दिन में सीख लिया?
12 दिन।
अच्छा, ये गांव में अगर आपने ड्रोन उड़ाया तो लोग तो कहेंगे रावणम्मा आप तो जादूगर हो गई है। हाँ, गांव वाले देखने आते हैं कि जब आप उड़ाती है तो?
हाँ आते हैं सर।
तो फिर बच्चे भी कहते होंगे लाओ मुझे भी उड़ाने दो। और फिर कभी गिर जाएगा तो क्या करोगे?
छोटा मोटा रिपेयर आने से भी कुछ करने की सीखेंगे।
अच्छा, गांव में कैसा इसका उपयोग कैसा हो रहा है, क्या लग रहा है? इतने दिन से काम शुरू किया है तो क्या अनुभव क्या आता है?
वाटर की प्रॉब्लम सेव होता है और समय की बचत होती है और स्प्रे करने नाक से यूनिवर्सिटी में स्प्रे करने के लिए।
चलिए रावणम्मा जी, आप उन लोगों के लिए एक जवाब है जो हमारे गांव, गरीब और महिला शक्ति के सामर्थ्य पर संदेह करते हैं। जब ड्रोन चलाने का प्रशिक्षण देने की शुरुआत की गई तो इस योजना को लेकर बहुत से लोगों ने संदेह जताए थे। आप जैसी बहनों ने साबित कर दिया कि ड्रोन कृषि में तकनीक के दायरे आगे बढ़कर महिला सशक्तिकरण का भी एक सिंबल बनकर उभरेगा। आप सभी पूरे देश की एक प्रेरणा है। विकसित भारत की इस संकल्प यात्रा में आपके जैसी महिलाओं की भागीदारी बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है। मैं आपको बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। आप कौन है?
सर अरुणाचल प्रदेश के नामसाई जिले से श्री लाकेर जुड़े हुए हैं।
कहां से हैं?
अरुणाचल प्रदेश से।
अरुणाचल से हैं। तो मोदी की गारंटी वाली गाड़ी वहां खड़ी है? हाँ लाकर जी नमस्कार, कैसे हैं?
जय हिंद सर।
जय हिंद, जय हिंद। अरुणाचल में तो जय हिंद के बिना बात ही नहीं हो सकती।
जी सर।
अच्छा लाकर जी बताइए अपने बारे में।
सर मेरा नाम लाकर पालंग है। मैं जयपुर ग्राम पंचायत की निवासी हूं सर, नामसाई डिस्ट्रिक्ट का, अरुणाचल प्रदेश सर। और मेरा बीबी घर में और 4 बच्चे 2 बच्चे सर कॉलेज जा रहे हैं और 2 स्कूल में पढ़ रहे हैं सर।
और आप रहने के लिए घर है क्या?
जी सर,
पक्का घर
रहने के
है?
लिए सर घर मुझे सर
पक्का घर, शौचालय, ऐसा घर है क्या? पानी बिजली की
जी
व्यवस्था
सर,
भी है
पहले
क्या?
जी सर मुझे आने दीजिए सर प्लीज। जी सर, पहले मेरा कच्चा घर था, जोगी झुपड़ी था सर, पानी उसमें टपकता था। लेकिन अभी भारत सरकार की ओर से सर मुझे 1,30,000 धन मिला और राज्य सरकार की ओर से भी सर धन मिला। कुल मिला के सर मुझे 1,50,000 मिला और अभी सर मेरा पक्का घर बन चुका है और अब मैं सर बाल बच्चा परिवारों के साथ शांति से जीवन जी रहा हूँ सर। वो सर सरकार, भारत सरकार की और राज्य सरकार की कृपा से सर।
जब आपको इतनी मदद मिली है, मुझे आशीर्वाद देंगे क्या?
जी सर जरूर, जी सर जरूर, बिल्कुल।
देखिए, आप आशीर्वाद मिले देंगे तो मुझे काम करने का और मजा आएगा।
जी सर,
पूरे गांव वाले आशीर्वाद देंगे क्या?
जी सर जरूर।
अच्छा लाकर जी, मुझे बताया गया है कि आपके गांव में पहले पानी की भी दिक्कत थी, पर अब जल जीवन मिशन से
Hello, Moto. Hello, Moto.
And he made sure to greet each of the 41 men when they emerged from the tunnel after 17 long days. While the Great Indian Tunnel Rescue has been about hope and happiness, it is as much about the heroes who made it possible. "17 days, 57 meters, 41 lives, one incredible rescue." When each worker was pulled out of the Silkyara tunnel, where they had been trapped for 400 hours, loud cheers broke out at the sight, and the whole country heaved a collective sigh of relief. They say it takes an army to build a village. So when it came to India's biggest rescue operation, multiple agencies worked round the clock to make this moment happen. The National Disaster Response Force, the Indian Army, the State Disaster Response Force, Border Roads Organization, all collaborated for this mammoth operation. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi kept a close eye and was one of the first to speak to the tunnel workers after their miraculous rescue.
जय हिंद भैया, सबको बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं।
भारत माता की जय, भारत माता की जय, भारत माता की जय।
बस आपके जो नारे हैं ना, देश सुनकर के आज बहुत ही प्रभावित हो जाएगा।
But there were some heroes whose wisdom and vigor made this mission a mammoth success.
Well done. Well done, Bhaskar.
12 men went where no machine could. After a series of setbacks, it was the banned practice of rat hole mining that came to the rescue of the trapped labourers. The team arrived at the Silkyara tunnel on the 27th of November to help in the rescue operations. They wanted 36 hours to clear the debris, but within 27 hours, they had reached the trapped workers. Leading the pack of rat hole miners were Firoz Qureshi and Monu Kumar, who were the first to reach the labourers after they cleared the last bit of the rubble inside the tunnel.
26 से 28 घंटे नॉन स्टॉप काम किया है।
ये मुश्किलें तो आई थी, बहुत सारी बाधाएं आई हैं मुश्किलों की,
जी तो
लेकिन
जी
मुश्किलें आने के बाद भी हमने ये एक जज्बा बना लिया था कि हमें करना ही करना है। और प्लस जो हमारे मुन्ना भाई हैं वो उन्होंने हमें ज्यादा से ज्यादा हौसला दिया और उन्होंने हमें काबिल समझा के कर पाएंगे, क्योंकि वो हमारे गुरु हैं, उन्होंने हमें काम सिखाया है, तो उन्हें अपने हुनर पे पूरा भरोसा था।
Arnold Dix, who heads the Geneva-based International Tunneling and Underground Space Association, is known for taking risks when it comes to underground construction. He had been a part of the Silkyara Tunnel Rescue Mission since the 20th of November and provided technical expertise on the operation. He guided the rescuers on maneuvering the treacherous ground. He would often be seen at a small temple near the tunnel, praying for the safe evacuation of the labourers.
It has been my honour to serve. And as a parent, it's been my honour to help all the parents out there getting their children home. And you remember in the beginning I said 41 people home safe, no one gets hurt by Christmas. We were calm and we knew exactly what was happening.
Good afternoon. Thanks a lot for staying with us here at CNN News 18. I'm Ridhima Bhatnagar. We're beginning this broadcast with some breaking developments coming in from the state of West Bengal. We're now understanding, as we pointed out, news coming in from West Bengal is telling us that the CBI is in fact raiding across multiple locations in the state of West Bengal, and all of this in the backdrop of the alleged recruitment scam. So we're now understanding as many as 5 places, in fact, have been raided by the agency. What we're also now understanding that 2 TMC councillors' homes have also been raided. 1 MLA's house has been raided and 1 block leader's house in Cooch Behar, in fact, has also been raided. Let's first go straight across to our colleague Kamalika Sengupta, who's joining us on the broadcast. Kamalika, give us more details. Are the raids still happening? Also, any initial reaction coming in by the TMC?
See, TMC obviously saying that it is a political vendetta. Yesterday itself, Home Minister Amit Shah did a program here, and they are saying that because that program was a failure, and from there the instruction has come that there will be raids in various places. The fact that the CBI is raiding today in 2 of very important councillors' residents, in one in Kolkata, one around Kolkata, and one house in Murshidabad, another block leader's house in Cooch Behar. So, like almost there are 7 places, and we are getting it from the sources. This is regarding the alleged recruitment scam that is there, that they are the case is on. So it is regarding that, and Dashgupta, who is a councillor whose house is being raided from today morning, he was very close to Partho Chatterjee, who is in jail in recruitment scam case. So it is related to that only. Still nothing clear that what actually is what is the actual mode of this raid. But it is clear that this is regarding this recruitment scam, and obviously Trinamool Congress is saying it is political vendetta.
Okay, Kamalika, we'll have to leave that conversation there. Thanks a lot for getting us all those details. It's election season. Let's now shift our focus to the youngest state that is seeing polls today. We're talking about Telangana. There are 119 seats at stake and 4 different political parties. It is a high-stake battle. We'll get to you all the details in just a bit.
तेलंगाना के लोग केसीआर सरकार को उखाड़ कर फेंकने के लिए कमर कस चुके हैं।
केसीआर शवयात्रा तेलंगाना जैत्र यात्रा। ये मेरे लिए राजनीतिक लड़ाई नहीं है, ये खून की लड़ाई है, डीएनए की लड़ाई है।
हमारा पहला कदम सरकार बनने के एकदम बाद जाति जनगणना करने का होगा, कास्ट सर्वे।
weeks of campaigning across 119 constituencies, it's now over to the voters in Telangana as the polls are underway. The polling will continue till 5 p.m. As we pointed out, it is a high-stake battle for the BRS president and the state chief minister, K Chandrasekar Rao, who is eyeing a hat-trick amid a wave of anti-incumbency and a tight challenge from the Congress. The third player in the fray is the BJP, which is also extremely hopeful of making a dent in several constituencies, particularly as far as North Telangana and Hyderabad is concerned. Let's talk about the other key player, that is the MIM, Asudin Owaisi, which is also contesting on 9 seats in Hyderabad. Meanwhile, the BRS has already written to the Election Commission against the Congress, saying that the Congress used deepfake videos and audios of their leaders to seek votes, whereas the Congress has also complained to the Election Commission against the BRS MLC K Kavita, saying that she in fact appealed to voters to vote for the BRS outside the polling booth. Let's bring you some political reactions.
Akka, you're going to vote. What are your first thoughts?
I really hope Hyderabad votes, and I really hope the entire Telangana votes in large numbers. On the ground, we are very, very comfortable. We've been campaigning on the ground. People love KCR Garu. People have received many benefits of the election, many benefits of our government, and we are very confident that we'll be voted back to power the third time.
हम स्वयं हमारा सरकार हम बनाएंगे. तेलंगाना के जनता के ऊपर विश्वास है. हमारा पार्टी पूरा बहुमत मिलेगा आदरणीय मोदी जी के नाम पर.
कांग्रेस पार्टी जो 6 गारंटीज दिए एंड जो तेलंगाना डेवलपमेंट मॉडल देश के लिए एक रास्ता दिखाएंगे. इस चुनाव में अच्छा नहीं सरकार बना दे के लोगों का उम्मीद पूरी करने के लिए कांग्रेस पार्टी कोशिश करेंगे.
Very much confident, and I'm sure inshallah today I expect, I hope and I request the people of Hyderabad and Telangana to come out in thousands and cast your vote, strengthen the democracy of our country, create more confidence in the Constitution of India. And this is the best and the right time for the people to show their choice, they like or dislike for anyone, for any candidate.
And we're in fact now getting some other breaking developments coming in, where we're understanding there is some sort of chaos that's played out at a particular polling booth, and we're understanding BRS workers have stopped the state Congress President Party candidate Revanth Reddy's brother from visiting a particular polling booth, and this is in Kamareddy, on grounds that he's not a voter here and he's not authorized for this visit. What we're also getting is a reaction coming in from a BRS worker. Let's take a look at that reaction.
कांग्रेस के एजेंट बोलकर जो कोंडल रेड्डी साहब फिर रहे हैं, उन्हें यहाँ के मुकामी नहीं है. इसके बाद भी फिर रिटर्निंग ऑफिसर से क्या बोल के एक कुछ झूठा मूठा पास निकाल लेके फिर रहे हैं. वो पास के साथ साथ महबूब नगर कोडंगल से 20 आदमियों को लेके खुलेआम घूम रहे हैं. 254 बूथ नंबर 258, 259 जो म्युनिसिपल में है, वो म्युनिसिपल में 3 गाड़ियां लेके अंदर आए तो भी पुलिस वाले उनको कुछ नहीं बोल रहे. फिर वो गुंडागिरी कर रहे, तो उनके जो साथ है वो इंसान को हम पुलिस को दे के अरेस्ट कराए तो 10 मिनट में पुलिस वाले छोड़ दे रहे. इसके बाद भी पुलिस नजरअंदाज कर रही. इसके बारे में हम जरूर इलेक्शन कमीशन को कंप्लेंट करेंगे.
Let's go straight across to our colleague Swastika Das, who's joining us on the broadcast. Swastika, before we talk to you about how high-stake battle this is as far as elections in the state are concerned, just help us understand what has happened outside this particular polling booth and the allegations that are coming in from the BRS.
Well, Kamareddy is a constituency that is going to witness a triangular contest. Of course, the headlines being the Chief Minister himself contesting from there. That's his second seat apart from Gajwel. And taking him on is Congress State President Revanth Reddy, who's also contesting there for the first time. The BJP candidate Venkataramana Reddy is also somebody who has a lot of goodwill on the field, in the sense that he was among those who had vehemently protested against the BRS's now shelved Kamareddy master plan, which had a few agricultural lands to be taken under them, and then to be built or repurposed as an industrial corridor. That project was shelved, but since then Venkataramana Reddy has sort of heard a lot of goodwill on the ground. Now what transpired today is basically Revanth Reddy's campaign is being managed by his brothers, and in that context they were in Kamareddy canvassing through different polling stations. In fact, Mr. Revanth Reddy himself is going to do that in a short while from now, and during that time he was intercepted by the BRS workers, and including BJP workers as well, who said that there was some alleged manipulation that is being done by Revanth Reddy's brothers. Now they've decided to move to the election commissioner's office here, but they've also alleged that so far the local poll authorities, when the matter was brought to light before them, there was no action on their part. So this led to skirmish on the ground, but not vehement clashes as we're given to understand. But yes, situation in Kamareddy continues to remain tense, and that's why there's extra deployment over there as well.
Okay, Swastika, we'll just request you to stay on with us. Let's also bring in our colleague Payal Mehta to talk about how high are the stakes as far as the BJP is concerned. Payal, help us understand what has been the strategy as far as the BJP is concerned for Telangana. Are they banking on the Modi wave to create some magic?
Well, the bank on Modi wave to create magic, not just from Telangana here, but from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, from Panchayat to Parliament elections. That's the power of the biggest star campaigner as far as the BJP is concerned. But Telangana is a very, very crucial state as far as the fortunes of the Saffron Party are concerned, given the fact that they've tasted defeat recently in Karnataka, so which means that the South India's score stands at 0 in terms of government, and that's something which they were really hoping that they will be able to dent the bastion, which is of course dominated by KCR and the BRS for the last 10 years. That is something which they're really hoping that they will be able to get sufficient number of seats. Although the campaign has plummeted over the last 6 months or so, ever since the removal of Bandi Sanjay, one of the most aggressive leaders as well. And the feeling on ground that probably the BRS and the BJP are one team which is populated in people has also dented the BJP. But however, the Saffron Party has been seen campaigning aggressively. You saw Prime Minister Narendra Modi campaigning over here. You saw Amit Shah campaigning over here. You saw JP Nadda's campaigning over here. So a host of the leaders campaigned over here in the run-up to the elections. As today, the whole of Telangana goes into polls, the BJP is hoping that they will be able to get a number of seats. Because remember, in the last election, they just had one seat. That is Raja Singh. And Raja Singh also was suspended, but only brought back days before the announcement of his seat. So obviously, that's where it really stands in terms of that. As far as the fortunes of the Saffron Party are concerned, but the BJP hugely banking on Prime Minister Narendra Modi's star power.
I'll just request you to stay on with us. I apologize for interrupting. In fact, the latest visuals that we're putting out is of KCR going to cast his vote. So you can see that there is high deployment on the ground. There you can see KCR on the frames and the visuals that we are putting out. As Swastika was just pointing out, that this is an extremely high-stake battle as far as the BRS is concerned, and KCR in fact is now eyeing a hat-trick if he does manage to win as far as these elections are concerned. We've seen just in the run-up to these elections, it has gotten dirty as far as the allegations and counter-allegations that have come in, specifically as far as the controversy around the Raitu Bandhu scheme is concerned between the BRS and even the Congress. Just going to Swastika first. Swastika, help us understand how high are the stakes as far as KCR alone is concerned. If he manages to win this, this is going to be a hat-trick, and this is not going to be any small feat.
Well, a lot is at stake for KCR. In fact, this is the toughest elections that he has fought. 2014, 2018 was a smooth sail for him because of the regional sentiment plus his array of welfare schemes. But this time around, he is in a neck-and-neck fight with the Congress, which is in fact pulling out all stops following on its success in Karnataka to repeat the same kind of win in Telangana. And especially in the last leg of the campaign, really, the Congress picked up a lot of pace, whether it was through their campaign on social media, especially building around the narrative that BRS, BJP and the MIM are all saying together, targeting the Congress. Apart from that, the Kaleshwaram lift irrigation project, which did see a little bit of hiccups in terms of the irrigation plan. And then apart from that, Raitu Bandhu being another focal point, plus Congress's 6 guarantees. Now, the Congress has built its campaign in such a way that the BRS, in fact, is finding it perhaps a little challenging, and they had in fact initially underestimated Congress as a candidate opponent, but now the BRS is of the opinion that this could really go down to the wire as far as the fight is concerned. Apart from KCR, remember he's fighting from 2 constituencies, Gajwel, which has been his bastion. In addition to that, Kamareddy, where he's taking on Revanth Reddy. This is a prestige battle for him. Apart from that, also the anti-incumbency factor, really, as we traverse through the ground across the state, the anti-incumbency factor was not as much against KCR as it was for his MLAs. So did he take a big gamble by repeating 95% of the MLAs? Perhaps yes, if you look at the surveys that BRS has been indicating, at least 40% of their MLAs are in a neck and neck fight with the Congress, some of them also with the BJP. So that's a crucial challenge for him there. And also, Telangana is going to set the tone for KCR's national ambitions as well.
True.
So if all goes well in Telangana, KCR has in fact laid it out very clearly that he will venture to Maharashtra, Karnataka, Odisha, and probably posture himself as a key face, even though he has not joined hands with the NDA or INDIA. But KCR wants to take himself to a position where he is, in a way, in the kingmaker kind of position where both the sides perhaps could approach him. That's what the thinking within the BRS is. But that is at a later league. The semi-final is, of course, Telangana elections, where KCR is really fighting to hold on to his citadel.
As Swastika is rightly pointing out, this is being seen as the big semi-final before the general elections of 2024, and a win here for KCR will be a big fillip as far as his own national ambitions are concerned. But going back to Payal, all the experts that we've been speaking to over the last couple of days trying to analyze how high the stakes are and what is at stake for each political party, all of them have essentially gone on to say that the Congress is really up their game, at least in the last few months, and it looks like it's going to be a neck-to-neck battle between the BRS and the Congress. Has that been a sentiment pushback as far as the BJP is concerned?
As far as this battle of Telangana is concerned, I can tell you that I've traveled to at least 3 out of the 5 polling states that have polled recently, and this looks like the most unpredictable battle. Nobody's really willing to call out this election. Having said that, yes, the BRS obviously is trying to save its bastion because they are a regional party. This is where they belong, even though they have national ambitions. But as far as the Congress party is concerned, the Congress party comes out very fresh after that win in Karnataka, where nobody really gave them a chance. But after winning Karnataka, their stakes have gone up in the southern part of India, and also the fact that their confidence has gone up a multiple deal, and they've understood that it is important to promote regional leaders and to give them the base that they really look at, and probably give them the platform that they really look at. So obviously, after DK Shivakumar and Siddaramaiah in Karnataka, they are backing Revanth Reddy big time over here in Telangana. But it is going to be a set of elections that will actually have its impact, in the run-up to 2024. Now, many people will tell you that the same set of results happened in 2018, but that was a different time altogether. This time around, the BJP has a lot at stake. This is going to be Prime Minister Narendra Modi seeking his third term as a Prime Minister in 2024. The BJP is watching out how it really pans out. So, many political experts over here on ground will tell you that it's not just about getting seats over here. Obviously, the BJP wants to expand its footprint down south. But they're also looking at the fact that how will they fare in 2024, and that's one of the reasons that even in hushed up tones, the BRS leaders and the Congress leaders will tell you that the actual battle for BJP is to see how they will fare in 2024, and probably this is a dress rehearsal for that. But with the fact that they're looking at repeating the performance and the magic in 2019. 2024 will be an interesting election if the Congress party is able to win at least 3 out of these 5 state elections.
Yeah. Well, stay on with us. Going back to Swastika. So Payal is saying that based on her travel, this is a very unpredictable election, despite the fact that the BRS and the Congress are extremely confident of a win in this state. But let's talk about the fourth player, the MIM, Aswaddin Owaisi, 9 seats as far as Hyderabad is concerned. I just heard that very short soundbite that came a short while ago, and he said extremely confident and leaving it there. What has been the poll strategy as far as the MIM is concerned?
Let me decode the Muslim factor for our viewers. As far as Owaisi is concerned, Hyderabad is his bastion. Practically, ask anybody around, his count starts at 7. He's contesting 9 seats. People around him, his hardcore supporters say Owaisi is bound to win 7 seats. So are his political opponents. The constituencies where he could perhaps face some challenge is Nampally, where Congress is giving a tough fight, is what we're given to understand. Rajendra Nagar, where he's forayed, and Jubilee Hills, where Mohammad Azharuddin is also fighting on the behalf of the Congress. But beyond the Hyderabad factor, remember, it's the BRS which has sort of managed to keep the Muslim vote bank in its kitty. Outside of Muslims occupy about 13% of Telangana's population as per the census. Outside of Hyderabad, especially in belts like Nizamabad, Nirmal, Jagitial, these are the areas where at least 15% of the Muslim population could be the decisive factor. And it is here where the BRS is facing tough challenge from the Congress. Owaisi factor is not something which is prominent outside of Hyderabad. He though has campaigned for the BRS in Zahirabad, Vikarabad, but as far as the northern Telangana belt is concerned, this is where even the BJP is hopeful of making a dent. But besides that, it's the Congress which is looking at galvanizing the SCs, STs and Muslim voters in their kitty through their Muslim Welfare Declaration, which is a separate entity apart from the regular 6 guarantees that they have come up with. But let's look at the BRS. The BRS too, with Kavita leading the campaign in Nizamabad, has done everything in its might to keep the Muslims in their vote bank.
Yeah.
So Muslims will certainly be a decisive factor as far as the equation is concerned outside of Hyderabad. But if it is Hyderabad, I mean, it's a foregone conclusion that it's the Owaisi brothers who are going to rule the roost.
Okay, going back to Payal, just going back on a point that you were also pointing out a short while ago, while the BJP is riding as far as the Modi factor is concerned, and that is something that we see across the country, that's correct. Essentially, we have seen a very clean image of the party as far as the state is concerned. But who are their real state leaders? Who are the faces on the ground? Post Bandi Sanjay, many would say there has been a vacuum that has been seen as far as the BJP's own projections are concerned. Could that be a setback as far as the party is concerned?
Yes, before I bring you that, that context, I'm going to bring you voters on ground. I'm currently at the Jubilee Hills Club, which is one of the most high-profile constituencies and, of course, the most high-profile areas as well. You tell me, you've come out to vote. To begin with, can you show us your voting ink finger? For a place like Hyderabad, which everybody speaks about in terms of development, you speak about the IT, hub that is there. How important it is for everybody to come out and vote?
Yeah, it's their duty because they'll face the next government for 5 years. It is their duty to choose the proper candidate and proper government for their well-being and the development of the state.
What is the concern when you come out to vote? What are the issues that come to your mind? Are you looking at development? Are you looking at benefits for a certain strata of society?
The benefits in the sense, right now Hyderabad is going in very good phase. Probably need to continue in the same phase. Whichever government will come, I hope that they will continue with the same thing, same development activity and everything. Hyderabad is now a global city. Let's say any government will come, let them continue the same work.
Right. So that was, of course, a voter on ground talking to us, telling us what it means for the Hyderabadis to come out and vote. And like I said, this is a high-profile constituency. This is a high-profile place where a lot of people come out and vote. They cast their vote. In a bit from now, you will see Chiranjeevi's family coming out to the exact same polling booth where I'm standing at. His son, Ram Charan and his family will also be coming out to vote. So obviously, the celebrities coming out and voting are sending a different message altogether, unlike most of the other places, especially in Bombay, where you do not see too many celebrities coming out and voting, and the voting percentage is very, very low as far as that is concerned. But you've seen celebrities come across, line up, right from the morning to come out and send a message to public at large that it is important to come and exercise your right to vote.
While we apologize for interrupting, we'll just request our colleagues to stay on with us. We have to cut to a very important press conference coming in by the MEA. Let's listen in.
India is among the few large economies which are on track to meet its nationally determined contributions. Also noteworthy that in recent years, under the vision and personal guidance of Honorable Prime Minister, India has taken a leadership role in shaping the global agenda on climate and environment, including through focusing on this issue in the 2 Voice of Global South Summit organized by India, first in January this year, and most recently the one earlier this month. India's approach to climate action is deeply rooted in our civilizational ethos and is reflected foremost in our contributions and our ambitious and effective national policies, especially those which are aimed at economic development, energy, health, and nutrition. We have also been pioneering and in the forefront in taking global initiatives in fighting climate change and its impacts. These initiatives include, as I just said, launch of International Solar Alliance in COP15 and The alliance has now grown to be a truly international framework. Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure is another such global initiative. Infrastructure for Resilient Island States, and Mission Life, and the most recently in September this year on the sidelines of the G20 summit, the launch of the Global Biofuel Alliance. Our approach to climate action is also reflected in our principled positions in the international negotiations and our global efforts to help the rest of Global South in combating this serious challenge of climate change, as also its impact on the development framework of the developing countries. We have engaged, as you all know, very actively in the multilateral negotiations under the UNFCCC, and our approach has been to preserve an effective, cooperative, and equitable global architecture based on climate justice and the principles of equity and common but differentiated responsibilities and respective capabilities, CBDRE RC. Most recently, India has been, as I said, been able to mainstream this discourse during the G20 presidency. Several of the decisions in the New Delhi Declaration reflect the discourse initiated, led by India, and various factors of our initiatives reflected in its decision, but also through the two Voice of Global South Summit. We have seen Green Development Pact, which was mentioned in the New Delhi Declaration, but also another accomplishment of the launch of Global Biofuel Alliance, which I just mentioned. This visit and the participation of Honorable Prime Minister at the COP28 would also give us another opportunity to further advance Prime Minister's vision and attempt to forge global consensus on this very important issue.
विकसित भारत संकल्प यात्रा के दौरान, यानी जब ये मोदी की गारंटी वाली गाड़ी आई है, तब दो बड़े कार्यक्रम देश ने किए हैं। एक कार्य नारी शक्ति और टेक्नोलॉजी से खेती किसानी को आधुनिक बनाना, वैज्ञानिक बनाना, उसे सशक्त करने का काम है। और दूसरा, इस देश के हर नागरिक का, चाहे वो गरीब हो, चाहे निम्न मध्यम वर्ग का हो, चाहे मध्यम वर्ग का हो, चाहे अमीर हो, हर गरीब को दवाएं सस्ते से सस्ती मिले, उसको बीमारी में जिंदगी गुजारनी न पड़े। ये बहुत बड़ा सेवा का काम, पुण्य का काम, उससे भी जुड़ा हुआ अभियान है। मैंने लाल किले से देश की ग्रामीण बहनों को ड्रोन दीदी बनाने की घोषणा की थी, और मैंने देखा कि इतने कम समय में ये हमारी बहनों ने, गांव की बहनों ने, 10वीं कक्षा पास है, कोई 11वीं कक्षा पास है, कोई 12वीं कक्षा क्या है, और हजारों बहनों ने ड्रोन चलाना सीख लिया। खेती में कैसे इसका उपयोग करना, दवाइयां कैसे छिड़कना, फर्टिलाइजर कैसे छिड़कना सीख लिया। तो ये जो ड्रोन दीदी है ना, वो नमन करने का मन करे, इतना जल्दी से वो सीख रही है। और मेरे लिए तो ये ड्रोन दीदी को नमन का कार्यक्रम है, और इसलिए मैं तो इस कार्यक्रम का नाम देता हूं, नमो ड्रोन दीदी, नमो ड्रोन दीदी, नमो ड्रोन दीदी। ये हमारी नमो ड्रोन दीदी जो है, ये आज लॉन्च हो रही है। ये नमो ड्रोन दीदी, ताकि हर गांव ड्रोन दीदी को नमस्ते करता रहे, हर गांव ड्रोन दीदी को नमन करता रहे, ऐसा वातावरण मुझे बनाना है। इसलिए मैंने योजना का नाम भी, मेरे से कुछ लोगों ने सुझाया है, नमो ड्रोन दीदी। अगर गांव जैसे कहेगा नमो ड्रोन दीदी, तब तो हमारी हर दीदी का मान सम्मान बढ़ जाएगा। आने वाले समय में 15,000 स्व सहायता समूहों को ये नमो ड्रोन दीदी कार्यक्रम से जोड़ा जाएगा। वहां ड्रोन दिया जाएगा और गांव में वो हमारी दीदी सबके प्रणाम का, नमन का अधिकारी बन जाएगी और नमो ड्रोन दीदी हमारा आगे बढ़ेगा। हमारी बहनों को ड्रोन पायलट की ट्रेनिंग दी जाएगी। सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप्स के माध्यम से बहनों को आत्मनिर्भर बनाने का जो अभियान चल रहा है वो भी ड्रोन ऊर्जा से सशक्त होगा। इससे बहनों बेटियों को कमाई का अतिरिक्त साधन मिलेगा। और मेरा जो सपना है ना, 2 करोड़ दीदी को मुझे लखपति बनाना है। गांव में रहने वाली विमेन सेल्फ ग्रुप में काम करने वाली 2 करोड़ दीदी को लखपति बनाना है। देखिए, मोदी छोटा सोचता ही नहीं है और जो सोचता है उसको पूरा करने के लिए संकल्प लेके निकल पड़ता है। और मुझे पक्का विश्वास है इससे देश के किसानों को बहुत कम कीमत में ड्रोन जैसी आधुनिक टेक्नोलॉजी मिल पाएगी। इससे उनके स्वास्थ्य, हेल्थ को भी लाभ होने वाला है, उनके स्वास्थ्य को भी लाभ होने वाला है। इससे समय भी बचेगा, दवा और खाद की भी बचत होगी, जो वेस्टेज जाता है वो नहीं जाएगा। साथियों, आज देश के 10,000वें जन औषधि केंद्र का भी उद्घाटन किया गया और मेरे लिए खुशी है कि बाबा की भूमि से मुझे 10,000वें केंद्र के लोगों से बात करने का मौका मिला। अब आज से ये काम आगे बढ़ने वाला है। देश भर में फैले ये जन औषधि केंद्र आज गरीब हो या मिडिल क्लास को, हर किसी को सस्ती दवाइयां उपलब्ध कराने के बहुत बड़े सेंटर बन चुके हैं। और देशवासी तो स्नेह से इन्हें, मैंने देखा है गांव वालों को ये नाम हमको याद नहीं रहता है तो गांव वाले तो कहते भाई तो मोदी की दवाई की दुकान है, मोदी की दवाई की दुकान पर जाएंगे। भले आपको जो मर्जी पड़े नाम दीजिए, लेकिन मेरी इच्छा यही है कि आपके पैसे बचने चाहिए, यानी आपका बीमारी से भी बचना है और जेब में पैसे भी बचना है। दोनों काम मुझे करने हैं, आपको बीमारी से बचाना और आपके जेब से पैसे बचाना। इसका मतलब है मोदी की दवाई की दुकान। इन जन औषधि केंद्रों पर लगभग 2000 किस्म की दवाएं 80 से 90% तक डिस्काउंट पर उपलब्ध है। अब बताइए, 1 रुपये की चीज 10, 15, 15 पैसा, 20 पैसे में मिल जाए तो कितना फायदा होगा। और जो पैसे बचेंगे ना, वो आपके बच्चों के काम आएंगे। 15 अगस्त को ही मैंने देश भर में जन औषधि केंद्र, जिसको लोग मोदी की दवाई की दुकान कहते हैं, वो 25,000 खोलने का तय किया है। 25,000 तक पहुंचाना है इसको। अब इस दिशा में और तेजी से काम शुरू हुआ है। इन दोनों योजनाओं के लिए मैं पूरे देश को, विशेष रूप से मेरी माताओं बहनों को, किसानों को, परिवारों को, सबको बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं। मुझे आपको ये जानकारी देते हुए भी खुशी है कि गरीब कल्याण अन्न योजना, आप जानते हैं, कोविड में शुरू की थी और गरीबों को उनकी थाली, उनका चूल्हा, उसकी चिंता। गरीब के घर का चूल्हा बुझना नहीं चाहिए, गरीब का बच्चा भूखा सोना नहीं चाहिए। इतनी बड़ी कोविड की महामारी आई थी, हमने एक सेवा का काम शुरू किया और उसके कारण मैंने देखा है परिवारों के काफी पैसे बच रहे हैं, अच्छे काम में खर्च हो रहे हैं। ये देखते हुए कल ही हमारी कैबिनेट ने निर्णय कर लिया है कि अब ये जो मुफ्त राशन देने वाली योजना है उसको 5 साल के लिए आगे बढ़ाया जाएगा, ताकि आने वाले 5 सालों तक आपको भोजन की थाली के लिए खर्च न करना पड़े और आपका जो पैसा बचेगा ना, वो जनधन अकाउंट में जमा कीजिए और उससे फिर बच्चों के भविष्य के लिए उसका उपयोग कीजिए, प्लानिंग कीजिए। पैसे बर्बाद नहीं होने चाहिए। मोदी मुफ्त में भेजता है, लेकिन इसलिए भेजता है ताकि आपकी ताकत बढ़े। 80 करोड़ से ज्यादा देशवासियों को अब 5 साल तक मुफ्त राशन मिलता रहेगा। इससे गरीबों की जो बचत होगी, उस पैसों को वे अपने बच्चों की बेहतर देखभाल में लगा सकेंगे। और ये भी मोदी की गारंटी है, जिसे हमने पूरा किया है। इसलिए मैं कहता हूं कि मोदी की गारंटी यानी गारंटी पूरा होने की गारंटी। साथियों, इस पूरे अभियान में पूरी सरकारी मशीनरी, सरकार के कर्मचारियों की बड़ी भूमिका है। मुझे याद है, कुछ वर्ष पहले ग्राम स्वराज अभियान के तौर पर इस तरह के बहुत सफल कोशिश हुई थी। वो अभियान 2 चरणों में देश के लगभग 60,000 गांवों तक हमने चलाया था। सरकार अपनी 7 योजनाएं लेकर गांव-गांव गई थी, लाभार्थियों तक पहुंची थी। इसमें आकांक्षी जिलों के भी हजारों गांव शामिल थे। अब उस सफलता को सरकार ने विकसित भारत संकल्प यात्रा का आधार बनाया है। इस अभियान से जुड़े सरकार के सभी प्रतिनिधि देश सेवा का, समाज सेवा का बहुत बड़ा कार्य कर रहे हैं। पूरी ईमानदारी से डटे हुए गांव-गांव तक पहुंचते रहिए। सबके प्रयास से विकसित भारत संकल्प यात्रा पूरी होगी। और मुझे विश्वास है कि जब विकसित भारत की बात करते हैं तो मेरा गांव आने वाले वर्षों में कितना बदलेगा, ये भी आपको तय करना है। हमारे गांव में भी इतनी प्रगति होनी चाहिए, तय करना है।
Hello, Moto. Hello, Moto.
Is a wonderful team. And when I say a wonderful team, the best engineers here in India, the army, their engineers, the best I've ever worked with, all the agencies, the federal authority, the state, all the people. It was just a joy to be a part of this successful mission, just one part. And I've got to go to the temple because I've promised to say thank you for what's happened, because my friends, if you haven't noticed, I think we've just witnessed a miracle.
Lieutenant General Syed Atta Hasnain, a member of the National Disaster Management Agency, used to oversee the operations and coordination between agencies. He didn't let setbacks in the operation affect the morale of the entire team. With his trademark calm demeanor, he ensured that no stone was left unturned in the rescue effort.
And therefore, I have been through this for too many years in my life. There were times when I was woken up at 2:30 in the morning and I knew that this can't be good news. When someone wakes you up at 2:30 in the morning and can only give you bad news. The good news can wait for the morning. So I'm used to disappointments, but personally, I did not want to show that kind of a concern to the nation when I was holding the responsibility of bringing information to the nation as such. Yes, there were moments when I was a little dismayed myself, but I kept that under curbs. The best face had to be projected to the nation through the media, and I compliment the Indian media. I compliment the Indian media for this sense of maturity, the ability in which they could present these news. I don't think the media in India has ever displayed this kind of a propensity towards utter maturity. It's been absolutely a marvelous moment for all of us. And therefore, I think a huge thanks is due to the media also.
Minister of State for Road Transport and Highways, General V.K. Singh, was stationed at the tunnel for days on end. The former army chief never lost hope for the trapped labourers, and he made sure to greet each of the 41 men when they emerged from the tunnel after 17 long days. While the Great Indian Tunnel Rescue has been about hope and happiness, it is as much about the heroes who made it possible. "17 days, 57 meters, 41 lives."
Welcome back. Thanks a lot for staying with us. We're getting some breaking developments now coming in. And this is a response, in fact, coming in from the Kerala government in the backdrop of that Kannur appointment row that we've been reporting upon. So the governor has gone on and has given a response on the Supreme Court verdict as far as the VC appointment is concerned. And he, in fact, has gone on to say it's not the education minister. All the pressure came from the chief minister's office. The governor also going on to clarify that it is wrong to blame the education minister because the education minister, in fact, was only used as a pawn by the chief minister. What the governor is also saying that the chief minister himself came and said that Kannur is my hometown. I told that once panel comes in, I will consult him and take his opinion. So very strong words coming in as far as the governor is concerned. What he's also gone on to clarify that you should not blame the education minister because in this case, the education minister was only used as a pawn as far as the chief minister is concerned. Before we bring in our colleague, let's take a look at that reaction coming in.
As they come to haunt you, there is no way you can get rid of the consequences of the karmas.
So the appointment of the Advocate General is by the governor himself. So if you withdraw the pleasure, since he has given you wrong information, wrong legal advice.
Well, I will not at this moment. Would not like to address this question because the judgment has come only few hours back. But the position has been made clear, and in fact, all the arguments which have been given by the Kerala government in the Supreme Court, why there was delay on my part. The delay was because I am clear in my opinion. I told everybody, I told the ministers that these bills where you seek to appoint one chancellor for each university, some expenses will be incurred. If some expenses are going to be incurred, then the requirement of the constitution is that it becomes a money bill, and a money bill must have prior approval of the governor. Why I was waiting? I was waiting for the chief minister to come. Maybe he gives some opinion which persuades me to change my opinion. That is why I was waiting. Once they have gone to the Supreme Court, then because I am clear in my mind that these are money bills. This is the other bill regarding the universities, where they seek to change the composition of the selection committee by appointing their nominees and providing that the decision panel will be prepared by majority. That is nothing but negation of every direction of the UGC regulation. It is in conflict with UGC regulation. Therefore, but I was still waiting for him to come to explain to me. Maybe he says something which persuades me to change my opinion. They decided not to come to Raj Bhavan. They decided to go to the Honorable Supreme Court. Perfectly fine. Now that they have decided not to come to Raj Bhavan and go to the Supreme Court, I took my decision. I referred the one medical bill, public health bill. I thought I cleared it, although I had received representation against that bill from allopathy people, from homeopathy people, from Ayurveda people, and had sent all three representations to the government for their comments. The comments which have come are not satisfactory. Still, I cleared it. But the other 7 bills, in my opinion, 4 of them are money bills, which require prior approval of the governor. You cannot lay them in the house. The other 3 bills regarding the composition of the selection committee, that is negation of the UGC regulations. Therefore, I had no choice. I was waiting for them. I waited for 2 years. Let them come and explain to me. Ministers came. Nobody had any answer.
Sir, what about the rest of the bills?
No, there are no other bills. There are no other bills. They had represented only about 8 bills. 1 I have cleared, 7 I have referred to the Honorable President. There are no other bills. If other bills are there, even today I have cleared 3.
Which one, sir?
This is This is some no. Land assignment again. I have received so many representations. I have sent them to the government. I'm waiting for their reply. Then I will take my decision. Don't consider me. I told you in the second month itself, I am not a rubber stamp, and I shall not be a rubber stamp. I have also been not only in politics, but I am also a lawyer.
So the first response coming in from the Kerala Governor Arif Mohammed Khan, once again reiterating his charge, all of this in the backdrop of the reappointment as far as the Kannur University Vice Chancellor is concerned. Let's go straight to our colleague Neetu, who is joining us on the broadcast. Neetu, the governor not mincing his words. Also, what he's gone on to clarify that one shouldn't blame the education minister here. He really had no role to play. He was being used as a pawn by the chief minister. Neetu, we'll request you to stay on with us. In fact, we have to cut across to a press conference coming in by the Ministry of External Affairs.
And that is obviously unacceptable. So I think that covers the query sir has correctly said about Canada. I will now hand over to sir.
See, the question on whether Honorable Prime Minister will be making any fresh announcements, whether with regard to the NDCs or other initiatives, I think it would not be correct really for us to prejudge in any way what the substance of Honorable Prime Minister's interventions, his thought processes at different events would be. But as I said earlier, this is only the third COP that the Honorable Prime Minister is attending. We attach tremendous significance and importance to the outcomes that are scheduled to come from this COP. I listed out some of the key elements of what would be under focus at this COP, and that included a substantial segment of climate finance. As I said, the specific figures is one part, but the point of principle and translating that principles into availability of climate finance, but also climate technology, so that the developing countries can actually move aggressively forward to take climate action is important. So I think it would not be correct for us to really, but as and when it comes out, you will see what Honorable Prime Minister has to say on these various subjects. With regard to your reference to pricing of the fossil fuel as a derivative of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, which you mentioned, I think this is a larger issue of essentially the energy transition into a green energy transition. And I think COP28 would essentially be focusing on...
This was a press conference that was coming in by the Ministry of External Affairs. Also, the MEA's first reaction as far as the allegations that have been made by the United States, where the United States has gone on to blame an Indian official for a plot against a case separatist. Remember, the US Department of Justice indictment had claimed that Nikhil Gupta, a senior Indian intelligence official, in fact, had masterminded the assassination plot against the K activist Gurpant Singh Pannu. So now we were seeing the first reaction that was in fact coming in by the MEA. We'll try and go across to our colleague Abhishek to try and understand what has been the position as far as India is concerned. The Foreign Secretary going on to say that this is a matter of great concern. The MEA also saying that we will take action when appropriate once the findings are available to us. So let's break down the details in terms of what has happened so far, what led to the United States making these allegations. And this is what intel sources are telling us here at CNN News 18. This is as far as the plot in the assassination behind Gurpant Singh Pannu is concerned. An Indian, in fact, has been held in the Czech Republic. What we're also now picking up is that the US government has charged an Indian citizen. As we pointed out, the name of that Indian citizen is Nikhil Gupta. The man named Nikhil Gupta, in fact, has been charged by the United States. There's some serious allegations that have been made there. Intel sources also telling us that the United States is trying to extradite Nikhil Gupta, this Indian who in fact has been named as far as this plot is concerned. Intel sources further also telling us, but as of now, the United States has no evidence, and this is exactly what we heard from the MEA press conference as well, that we will take action once the evidence is made available. Intel sources also adding that it is wrong to link Indian agencies. So this is where things currently stand. Serious allegations that have been made as far as the United States is concerned, and the first reaction then coming in from the MEA. Let's now shift our focus to some other stories that we are tracking at this hour. Let's talk about what's happening in Tamil Nadu. Heavy rain slashed several parts of Tamil Nadu, submerging properties and causing heavy waterlogging. Now, rain slashed Chennai, other areas like Ranipet and even Kanchipuram districts. The IMD has issued an orange alert for Chennai and its neighboring districts on the 2nd as well as the 3rd of December, indicating the likelihood of heavy to very heavy rainfall. Schools will also remain closed in Chennai and in other districts like Chengalpettu and Kanchipuram. A holiday has also been announced for both schools and colleges in various districts like Tiruvallur. Chennai Corporation has also launched a helpline number for the citizens. The NDRF teams have also been kept on standby by the IMD. In its bulletin, observed the formation of a low-pressure area in the southeast Bay of Bengal. Now, the formation is expected to form a cyclonic storm within the next few days.
We had unprecedented rains for a short period of time for 3 hours, and Honorable CM directly telephonically has been monitoring this, and we have put 15 IAS officers yesterday itself overnight. Water is receding very rapidly. We are observing it. All of us are in the field. 16,000 odd workers are on the field. 491 motors are there, plus additionally 150 tractor-borne motors are also there. So far, that flooding kind of challenge has not been there, but they have all the equipments to immediately jump into action in case of some major inundations.
Well, that's the update that's coming in from Tamil Nadu, where, as we pointed out, and in the visuals that you can see as well, there is waterlogging that is already being reported in Chennai. Low-lying areas are completely submerged as of now, but authorities on the ground saying it is not a flood situation. The IMD has already issued an orange alert. There are multiple teams on standby by the NDRF as heavy rains still continue to batter the state. What the IMD is also saying that because there will be a formation of a low pressure as far as the Bay of Bengal is concerned, it is a possibility that we could see the formation of a cyclonic storm also within the next few days. Let's go straight across to our colleague Purnima Murli, who in fact is joining us from T Nagar in Chennai. Purnima, just help us understand what is the situation like. The IMD is predicting that there will be heavy rains over the next few days, but authorities also clarifying that there is no flood-like situation just as of now.
Well, no flood-like situation just yet. The only good news is that the rains have receded over the last couple of hours, and therefore the water levels are also receding. But if there are heavy to very heavy rainfall that the city would witness in the next 2 to 3 days, as per the Met predictions, then residents in low-lying areas, especially the ones like T Nagar, they are afraid that it could cause a flood-like situation. And these are the visuals from T Nagar main road. This is one of the famous roads, the main roads in T Nagar, and it's still waterlogged. Remember, as I said, the rains have receded, the rains have stopped over the last couple of hours, but even the main roads are inundated. The water levels have decreased, but if the rains continue for the next 2 to 3 days, then all these areas would be inundated. The low-lying areas, primarily T Nagar, West Mablam, Ashok Nagar, KK Nagar, and the North Chennai, all these areas will be inundated if the city witnesses heavy to very heavy rainfall. Remember, orange alert has been issued to districts including Chennai, Kanchipuram, Chengalpet, and some of the main roads are waterlogged. Some of the low-lying areas, apartments, people who are staying on the ground floor, fear another 2015 repeat, considering that a cyclone is likely to be formed as per the Met Department's prediction likely tomorrow, and the city could witness heavy rainfall. So everyone, the Tamil Nadu government has issued an advisory asking people to stay indoors and come out only if it is necessary and only if it's essential. Otherwise, people have been asked to stay indoors. Fishermen have been asked not to venture into the sea, and those who are already out have been asked to return, considering that the next 4 to 5 days would be crucial. Many residents have, in fact, lodged complaints saying that their areas are waterlogged, and motor pumps are in place to clear the water. And there have been complaints. Many of them are right now in a better situation, but some roads like the one that we are showing you continue to remain waterlogged, even though the motor pumps are in place. They are trying to drain the water out, but it's still a long way to go. And the next few days will be crucial as well. Back to you.
So as Purnima is pointing out, the good news as of now is that the rains have receded. So even the water levels have begun to come down. But the next few days are going to be very, very crucial. We are going to keep a close eye on all those developments. With that, we'll have to leave that conversation there. It's a wrap from my side. But do watch a mega poll of polls coverage that begins on CNN News 18, 5 p.m. onwards. Thanks a lot for watching.
Hello, Moto. Hello, Moto.
One incredible rescue. When each worker was pulled out of the Silkyara tunnel, where they had been trapped for 400 hours, loud cheers broke out at the sight, and the whole country heaved a collective sigh of relief. They say it takes an army to build a village. So when it came to India's biggest rescue operation, multiple agencies worked round the clock to make this moment happen. The National Disaster Response Force, the Indian Army, the State Disaster Response Force, Border Roads Organization, all collaborated for this mammoth operation. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi kept a close eye and was one of the first to speak to the tunnel workers after their miraculous rescue.
जय हिंद भैया, सबको बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं।
भारत माता की जय, भारत माता की जय, भारत माता की जय।
बस आपके जो नारे हैं ना, देश सुनकर के आज बहुत ही प्रभावित हो जाएगा।
But there were some heroes whose wisdom and vigor made this mission a mammoth success.
Well done. Well done, Bhaskar.
12 men went where no machine could. After a series of setbacks, it was the banned practice of rat hole mining that came to the rescue of the trapped labourers. The team arrived at the Silkyara tunnel on the 27th of November to help in the rescue operations. They wanted 36 hours to clear the debris, but within 27 hours, they had reached the trapped workers. Leading the pack of rat hole miners were Firoz Qureshi and Monu Kumar, who were the first to reach the labourers after they cleared the last bit of the rubble inside the tunnel.
26 से 28 घंटे नॉन स्टॉप काम किया है मैं। ये मुश्किलें तो आई थी, बहुत सारी बाधाएं आई हैं मुश्किलों की, लेकिन मुश्किलें आने के बाद भी हमने ये एक जज्बा बना लिया था कि हमें करना ही करना है। और प्लस जो हमारे मुन्ना भाई हैं, वो उन्होंने हमें ज्यादा से ज्यादा हौसला दिया और उन्होंने हमें काबिल समझा के कर पाएंगे, क्योंकि वो हमारे गुरु हैं, उन्होंने हमें काम सिखाया है, तो उन्हें अपने हुनर पे पूरा भरोसा था।
Arnold Dix, who heads the Geneva-based International Tunnelling and Underground Space Association, is known for taking risks when it comes to underground construction. He had been a part of the Silkyara Tunnel rescue mission since the 20th of November and provided technical expertise on the operation. He guided the rescuers on maneuvering the treacherous ground. He would often be seen at a small temple near the tunnel, praying for the safe evacuation of the laborers.
Welcome back. Thanks a lot for staying with us. We're getting some breaking developments now coming in. This is the first reaction that's coming in from the MEA, where India has hit back at the allegations that have been made by the United States over Gurpranth Pannu's killing. The MEA's first response says, we've seen the development, this is concerning and contrary to our government's policies. What we're also hearing is that linking a plot to Indian official is concerning. We also have a reaction coming in on the situation in Canada, where the MEA has gone on to say that Canada has consistently given space to extremists. We do not give space. Let's listen in to that reaction coming in from Arindam Bakshi.
Look, as you would have seen, as we have informed earlier, during the course of discussions with the US on bilateral security cooperation, the US side shared some inputs pertaining to nexus between organized criminals, gun runners, terrorists, other extremists. We take, of course, such inputs very seriously, and a high-level inquiry committee has been constituted to look into all the relevant aspects of the matter, and necessary follow-up action will be taken based on the findings of the inquiry committee.
So this is the first response that's coming in by the Ministry of External Affairs post those allegations that were made by the United States, where the DOJ in fact had gone on to say that the murder for hire conspiracy charges were made against an Indian citizen, where they went on to say that there was a plot to assassinate a US citizen on US soil. The Indian government employee coordinated with Nikhil Gupta, the Indian citizen who in fact has now been named. Nikhil Gupta was an associate of the government employee. These are the allegations that have been made by the United States. India responding to these charges for the first time, going on to say that we've seen the development, this is concerning and contrary to our government's policy. Let's take a look at some other reactions coming in.
From the month of August onwards, we have been working closely with our American counterparts, with partners around the world, on the very serious allegations that we shared in September that we believe India was involved, agents of the government of India were involved in the killing of a Canadian citizen on Canadian soil. The news coming out of the United States further underscores what we've been talking about from the very beginning, which is that India needs to take this seriously. The Indian government needs to work with us to ensure that we're getting to the bottom of this. This is not something that anyone can take lightly. Our responsibility is to keep Canadians safe, and that's what we're going to continue to do.
So post those allegations that came from the United States, a reaction came from Justin Trudeau from Canada, urging India, quote unquote, to take matters seriously. Let's go straight to our colleague Abhishek, who is joining us on the broadcast. Abhishek, help us understand India's response and India's position.
Well, India has clearly said that if the US allegations are real in terms of an Indian employee was associated with the entire plot to assassinate Pannu, that this is not the government policy, and it is contrary to that. So clearly there is no involvement of Indian government as such. It could be some individuals, but still the case is still under investigation. And then the person who has been indicted is an Indian national, but there has not been any reference to any Indian government employee who has been handling that person. His identity has not been established yet by the U.S. Department of Justice or the U.S. law enforcement agencies. So that is what that is where this entire case is right now. But we do know that India and US, they have been regularly sharing intelligence inputs on the organized crime, on the gun runners, on individuals who have been trying to plot some sort of crime and other activities in each other's country. And these intelligence inputs are being looked into seriously with the Indian side as well.
Abhishek, we'll have to leave that conversation there. Keep a close eye on all those developments for us. Well, with that, it's a wrap from my side, but news continues here on CNN News 18. My colleague Anusha is now in the studio.
Good afternoon and a very warm welcome here on CNN News 18. Hello, I'm Anusha Sonia. Top focus. What can it be other than the battle of states, the semi-final before the mega final of 2024? The one party who wins the states or establishes its dominance in these polls of the Hindi heartland, more importantly in the states of Rajasthan, Telangana, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, and Rajasthan. All of that is going to be critical to watch out for. But all eyes on Telangana today, the state that polls today. After weeks of campaigning across 119 constituencies, it's now over to the voters in the state. As polls are underway, polling will continue till 5 p.m. It's a high-stake battle for BRS President and State Chief Minister K Chandrasekar Rao. Will the Congress party be able to expand its reach, or BRS be able to withhold its power? Will the BJP be one party that's going to cut into the votes, or would it establish its presence far more strongly in the state at the state level? That's our focus.
तेलंगाना के लोग केसीआर सरकार को उखाड़ कर फेंकने के लिए कमर कस चुके हैं।
కేసీఆర్ శివయాత్రనా తెలంగాణ జైత్ర యాత్రనా?
ये मेरे लिए राजनीतिक लड़ाई नहीं है, ये खून की लड़ाई है, डीएनए की लड़ाई है। हमारा पहला कदम सरकार बनने के एकदम बाद जाति जनगणना करने का होगा, कास्ट सर्वे।
Weeks of campaigning across 119 constituencies, the voters in the state of Telangana are going to decide who is the real winner, who will form the next government. The polling will continue till 5 p.m. It's a high-stake battle for BRS President and State Chief Minister K Chandrasekar Rao, who's eyeing a hat-trick amid a perceptible wave of anti-incumbency and a tight challenge from the Congress party. The third player in the fray is BJP, which is also hopeful of making a dent in several constituencies, particularly in the north of the state, also in the urban pockets of Hyderabad. The other key player is Mr. Owaisi's aimim, which is contesting on 9 seats in Hyderabad. That has been traditionally their stronghold. BRS has written to the Election Commission against Congress, saying that Congress used deepfake videos and audios of their leaders to seek votes, whereas Congress has complained to EC against K Kavita, appealing to voters to vote for BRS outside a polling booth. We continue telling you more about this particular story. Let's tell you more about the semi-final before the mega battle of 2024. What does the battle of Telangana really entails? What is it at stake right now? 119 seats, that's the number of constituencies that you're looking at, which are up for grabs. Will KCR beat the anti-incumbency? He is eyeing a hat-trick, but after 2 terms, ever since the formation of the state, there is a strong wave of anti-incumbency, many argue. 3-corner fight in the state with Congress, BJP and the BRS. You also have Prime Minister Modi, who has actively campaigned in the state, and his popularity is also a factor that has armed the BJP. It's also a war of welfare schemes / freebies. The farmers' factor in about 75 rural seats is going to be very, very critical, very, very important. The last-minute change that was made by the Election Commission in terms of the disbursements of the fund about a particular scheme, and the Congress party had complained against it. Many argue that could be a factor against the Congress party. The wave in favor of the Congress party, is there a wave that the Congress party can really jump on? That I believe on 3rd of December we'll know. And what kind of role will parties like aimim play? Will they be the spoilsport, or will they be the kingmakers? These smaller parties often play a very important and a critical role, especially if it's a triangular contest. Let's listen into some voices on the story.
Akka, you're going to vote. What are your first thoughts?
I really hope Hyderabad votes, and I really hope the entire Telangana votes in large numbers. On the ground, we are very, very comfortable. We've been campaigning on the ground. People love KCR Garu. People have received many benefits of the election, many benefits of our government, and we are very confident that we'll be voted back to power the 3rd time.
हम स्वयं हमारा सरकार हम बनाएंगे। तेलंगाना के जनता के ऊपर विश्वास है। हमारा पार्टी पूरा बहुमत मिलेगा आदरणीय मोदी जी के नाम पर।
कांग्रेस पार्टी जो 6 गारंटीज दिए एंड जो तेलंगाना डेवलपमेंट मॉडल देश के लिए एक रास्ता दिखाएंगे। इस चुनाव में अच्छा नहीं सरकार बना दे के लोगों का उम्मीद पूरे करने के लिए कांग्रेस पार्टी कोशिश करेंगे.
Very much confident, and I'm sure, inshallah, today I expect, I hope, and I request the people of Hyderabad and Telangana to come out in thousands and cast your vote, strengthen the democracy of our country, create more confidence in the Constitution of India. And this is the best and the right time for the people to show their choice, they like or dislike for anyone, for any candidate.
Cutting across to my colleague Payal, who's joining us on the broadcast. Payal, tell us where you are, what kind of response from the voters so far, what is the mood on the ground?
I'm going to go and get you a couple of voices on ground. It's so inspiring to see a senior citizen over here, a lady who's come all the way to vote as well. She's here, exercising her right to vote. That's her voted. That's her ink finger that you can really see. That is what Amma is showing. Amma, how many times have you voted abhi tak? How many times? 10 years. 10 times. 10 times you have voted for election. We'll try and get a word from a couple of other people as well. You tell me, you're a citizen of this city, the capital. How important it is for everybody to come out and vote, and what's the mood?
Very important, because they will have to decide the future, how the state has to be. So I think if someone doesn't come and vote and use their vote right, I don't think they have a right to ask any question to the government.
I'm going to try and get in a couple of other people as well. I do see a lot of other citizens, who've come out and vote. Ma'am, for you to come out and vote and exercise your right to vote, how important is it for you as a citizen? How important is it for you as a citizen, sir? How important is it to come out and vote?
No, it's a duty of the people.
And you're expecting further and better changes for Hyderabad after this election?
Maybe I have not decided.
Right. Of course, people have
Allow me a moment. Just stay with us on the broadcast. I'll just come back to you. We are more than keen to hear all the voices that you're getting us from the ground. Mr. G. Kishan Reddy alleges malpractices in Jangao, one of the area where the voting is going on. That's the word really coming in. We'll try and get you more details, but that's the breaking news coming in, that G. Kishan Reddy alleges certain malpractices during the polling process. What exactly has he alleged? What are the malpractices that he's talking about? We'll quickly try and cut across to our reporters and get more details on this entire story. But during the polling process, it is not unprecedented or not without precedent to see that these kind of complaints are made. Swastika, could you tell us more about what are the concerns that Mr. Reddy has raised?
Well, G. Kishan Reddy, Telangana BJP president, says that BRS cadres in Jangao have been moving in huge numbers in different polling booths in a bid to influence the voters over there. And when the BJP workers, in fact, tried to stop any such attempt, they were, in fact, hit back by the BRS, and there was a bit of violence that took place, leading to clashes between both sides. What G. Kishan Reddy has also gone on to allege is that the police remained as mute spectators, thereby facilitating the ruling party workers to move around polling stations, and not just that, attack BJP cadres and dismantle free and fair elections. In fact, remember, accusations have been flying thick and fast. We saw a little bit of clash play out not just in Jangao but also in Nirmal and even in some parts of Hyderabad, where there were clashes between BJP, BRS and Congress cadres, while the leaders were moving in boards to take a tab on what is exactly playing out in different polling stations. Kama Reddy too is on high alert right now. This is where the Chief Minister and Revanth Reddy are fighting against each other, and there too the BRS cadres say that there has been an attempt to influence voters allegedly from the Congress's side.
There has been an attempt to influence the voters from the Congress side. Swastika, is there a formal complaint that has been made in this regard? Because usually complaints of this nature are not just oral. In a written format, you can submit it to the local election commission officer.
Yes, they have. In fact, representations have also been put forth by the BRS as well over the deep fake videos which we've been focusing earlier on. And now G. Kishan Reddy also reaching out to the chief electoral officer here in Telangana, asking him to intervene and also accusing the police of remaining as mute spectators. Anusha.
All right, that's the accusation coming in, and a formal complaint to the Election Commission has also been made. Swastika getting us all those details. Let's tell you a bit more about the battle for Telangana. What exactly does it entail? What are the strength, weakness, and opportunity for each of the political party? One by one, we tackle all of them. Congress, BJP, and the BRS. Well, you talk about the strength of the BRS. KCR is recognized as a crusader for the statehood, for the state of Telangana. Schemes like Raitu Bandhu and KCR has also hit a record by staying as the chief minister for 2 times and trying to bat for the 3rd time ever since the formation of a state. He also enjoys a substantial base of the minority votes, not to forget the kind of minority appeals he's made in his election speeches. There has been a notable improvement in the infrastructure and healthcare of the state. That's one thing that most of his supporters talk about, but there are weaknesses too. Many sitting MLAs are facing strong anti-incumbency in their constituencies. There are allegations that the family has got a lot of grip over the party and the government, and corruption charges. The other weakness lies as opposition accuses that netas have defected, and there is internal bickering in both Congress and the BJP, and that's exactly something that could not benefit the party. The anti-incumbency challenge is something which the party would have to deal with. Taming the BJP's robust leadership and opposition raising incomplete schemes that the promises have not been fulfilled. K Kavita has been named in the excise policy case, and that has also been touted as a graft charge against the government. Let's talk about other political parties as well. We'll continue to do that analysis here on CNN News 18. Let me also try and cut across back to Pal. She is on the ground. She was getting us all those voices. Pal, you were interrupted, but you were getting us all the voters, their voices, their concerns. How do they feel while casting their vote? Please tell us more.
Well, of course, voters have come up, in decent numbers over here. I'm currently at Jubilee Hill Club, which is, of course, a very, very prominent location, a very, very high-profile location as far as this region is concerned. This is a region from where Chiranjeevi voted in the morning, and in a bit from now, his son Ram Charan, who's, of course, an Oscar award winner, he's part of that Oscar award-winning film, Triple R. He's also going to be coming here in a bit from now to cast his vote. Citizens are coming in, slow and by steady. But what I've seen, which is very, very different, Anusha, the celebrities have given a strong message over here in the city and around the city by coming out and casting their vote and setting an example for the others to really follow. So that's what it really stands. Obviously, people are mum about who they voted for. Naturally, we can't ask them that question because of the model code of conduct being in place as well. But people are hopeful that there will be a government which will come in, which will bring in development for them, which will make sure that their welfare is looked after. Hyderabad is one of those fastest growing cities, which has seen an expansion, not in terms of infrastructure, in terms of road and otherwise, but also in terms of IT infrastructure. Also, we've seen a lot of work really happen. So will KCR get another term? Will he become the first chief minister, in the southern part of India to actually have 3 terms in a row? That remains to be seen, of course, because he's facing a stiff challenge from the Congress party. The Congress party is extremely buoyant, is extremely excited about their prospects this time around. They see a huge wave around their, around them this time around after having tasted success in Karnataka recently. So it's all at stake for them. And of course, the BJP is also vying for its chances. The BJP is looking at a larger picture, not only just here where they expect at least they can be the vote spoilers as far as anybody is concerned. If they're able to get a double-digit figure over 10 and above, they can probably be a sort of a party to watch out for as far as the Telangana polls are concerned. MIM, this is their bastion. They're waiting for something to come their way because this is exactly where they belong to, and they would like to make the most of this election for themselves. So we'll try and speak to a couple of voters, like you mentioned. Let's try and speak to a couple of voters if they're willing to speak to us. Coming out and voting, ma'am, how important is it for a citizen?
It is, right? It's our right to vote.
What does it mean for Hyderabadis?
As a citizen, we need to vote. Right. We have to vote.
Are you looking out for anything in particular? Are you looking out for any government to work for your development, to work for your progress, especially for women?
Everybody is doing their best. I'm trying to vote for someone who I feel will do their best for me and my city in the next 5 years.
Right. She's trying to do her best, she says, and how confidently. Try and speak to a couple of other voters as well. Okay, we'll have to just see if anybody else is willing to speak to us. This is quite a constituency where I'll have to ask my camera person to be a little careful because there are cars coming in from all sides. We don't want to get injured in the process. So we'll try and speak to a couple of other voters as well who I can spot over here. Just getting into the car. You've come out and vote. What does this mean for people of Hyderabad?
I think you should come out and vote. If you want to, tomorrow, if you want to raise a finger against anybody, unless you vote, you don't have the right to do that.
What are the key issues for voters in this part of the city?
I think it's mostly about drainage, water, sanitary. I mean, this kind of issues are what basic issues. Nothing more than that. The roads, the lights, and nothing more than that.
Right. You rightly said that you wanted to actually make sure that you are able to raise a finger, but for now you can just raise a finger and show us your voting sign, and hopefully more and more people will get encouraged to come out and vote. Anusha, back to you.
Thank you, Pal, for putting all of that into perspective. Thank you for getting us all those voices, the biggest festival of democracy when you go out and you cast your vote. And that's the most important day for any citizen in the state. People of the state of Telangana, please go out, cast your ballot. That's how you're going to decide who is going to govern your state for the next 5 years. Well, here you can see these numbers that we're putting out for you, and these numbers tell you the story as to how right from 2014 up till 2019, the graph of BRS has been. This pink line really tells you the percentage of vote that the party has been able to gather, from 34% up to 47% in 18, and a small fall of about 5% in 2019 that we have seen. But if you look at Congress party, the graph is pretty much flat. In 2014, both in Lok Sabha and the state elections. In 2018, it went up just slightly, and in 2019, it was about 30%. They are hoping that they can close on this margin. The saffron line, of course, is the BJP. In 2019 Lok Sabha election, of course, the Modi wave, the voting percentage for the party went up to 20%. Now, can that really also translate as far as state elections are concerned? Or is this particularly a factor only in Lok Sabha, or can also translate into the state elections? But the party did very well during the Lok Sabha elections. They need to make more inroads into the state, and that is why that hectic political campaigning has happened. Let's listen in to what Mohammad Azharuddin had to say.
वोट तो डालना जरूरी होता है, क्योंकि जब भी इलेक्शन होता है तो वोट डालना जरूरी होता है। अगर आप नहीं डालेंगे तो आपका कोई हक भी नहीं बनता कि आप हम किसी से क्वेश्चन कर सकते हैं या किसी से आपको पूछ सकते हैं कि ऐसा डेवलपमेंट नहीं हुआ, ये नहीं हुआ। तो मैं समझता हूँ सही जगह पे वोट डालेंगे तो सही रिजल्ट आएंगे।
मैं उन लोगों को टीआरएस कैंडिडेट का और कांग्रेस कैंडिडेट का हिसाब से ही देख रहा हूँ, लेकिन इन लोग बड़े बड़े हैं, इससे क्या होता है, इसे डर के हम पीछे हटने वाला नहीं है। इन लोग हमारा हिसाब में कैंडिडेट ही है। अभी इन लोग 40 साल पहले केसीआर क्या था, कुछ भी नहीं है ना। यहाँ तक उन्हें जर्नी में अभी मुख्यमंत्री बना, और ये रेवंत रेड्डी जी ने 2009 में क्या है, कुछ भी नहीं है ना। वहां से फिर उसका प्रस्थान शुरू हुआ। अभी उसका टाइम मिले, दोनों को भगवान अच्छा टाइम दिए, तकदीर अच्छा है, उन लोग है। लेकिन इन लोग पूरा सबसे जीनियस है बोल के नहीं सोचना। 101%, not in 101% फ्रॉम द बिगिनिंग, नॉट नाउ ओनली। मैं 5 साल से मेहनत कर रहा हूँ, पब्लिक से कर रहा हूँ। हम काम करे सो भी सबसे डिफरेंट है।
Cutting across to my colleague Swastika, she's with us on the broadcast. Swastika, tell us how the response has been of the voters so far. Let's also once again talk about the key issues that have dominated the political discourse in the state.
Well, Hyderabad really never had a pleasant voter turnout, so this time we hope that that trend breaks. But as of now, the last data that we've accessed, the voter turnout is somewhere around 25%. But yes, what are the key issues this time around? KCR, high stakes battle for him. He's battling anti-incumbency. Wherever we've traveled, the anti-incumbency factor is not much against him as it is in the case of his MLAs. And that is because a majority of the schemes that KCR has been banking on has not percolated well down with the masses. A majority of the people have told us that it's usually the middlemen nexus and those known to the MLAs who've been walking away and enjoying schemes in the likes of Dalit Bandhu, which gives 10 lakh rupees allowance to financial assistance rather to Dalit families, and also double bedroom houses. So these could be the negative factor as far as KCR is concerned. And let us also not discount the fact that voter fatigue is something that the BRS is facing a challenge with, because in general among a lot of voters there is a sense that we've given chance to KCR twice. Now it's time to perhaps give a chance to some other party. So is that alternative the Congress? Well, it seems so as far as the Congress's own projection is concerned. The Congress, remember, is giving a very tough fight as far as Telangana elections is concerned. Following on the heels of Karnataka model, here the party is banking on 6 guarantees, and they have multiple chief ministerial faces right now. But of course, somebody who is at the front runner is Revanth Reddy. But having said that, the caveat in the case of Congress is, if you look at the vote share, there are 19 seats that they won last time. And just want to quickly wrap up, Anusha. This time around, they have to cross 60 seats in order to come to power in Telangana. That's going to be a big challenge for Congress. Can it do it? Time will say.
Time will say. Time will say. Thank you. Thank you, Swastika, for succinctly putting that together for us. And after Telangana Congress on its official handle on X shared a video showing Telangana Minister and BRS Working President K Chandrasekar Rao appealing to people to cast their vote for the Congress, BRS has taken the fight to the Election Commission complaint against the Congress, saying the desperate parties are peddling fake news in Telangana. BRS also urged the voters to not to be swayed due to fake news and verify information before believing or sharing it. Reacting to the controversy, we have Mr. Owaisi from aimim, who has said that it's a serious issue and EC must look into it.
Is this the most challenging election for you?
Not at all. In fact, on 3rd December, you'll see that this is probably our biggest victory.
How are you seeing the Congress this time around, sir?
Congress is always Congress. You know how it is. Well, I mean, there's nothing new about them. It's all old wine in a new bottle. There's nothing new about them.
A lot of concern being raised about the deep fake videos.
It's a deep fake party. So what do I do?
How many seats are you confident of winning, sir?
88 plus. Cheers.